Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Adrian. I'm a neurosurgery resident from Chennai, India, and today I'm going to react to one of the Derek Shepherd-centric episodes on Grey's Anatomy, the one from Season 6, Episode 7. So let's get started.
Ask most surgeons why they became surgeons, and they usually tell you the same thing. It was for the high, the rush, the thrill that comes from cutting someone open and saving their life. For me, it was different.
Take care of yourself today.
Maybe it's because I grew up in a house with 4 sisters. No, definitely because I grew up in a house with 4 sisters.
It's true that many do take neurosurgery or any surgical specialty for that matter because you get a high from doing surgery. But when a surgery goes planned and the assistant, the surgeon and the scrub nurse are all in sync, it's very calm. And usually at the end of the surgery, you do get a dopamine hit.
When you stand in the OR, your patient open on the table, all the world's noise, all the worry that it brings, disappears. Calm settles over you. Time passing without thought. For that moment, you feel completely at peace.
It's a tumor in the spinal cord, possibly a hemangioblastoma.
You shouldn't be walking, should be paralyzed. Dead.
Oh, I'd love to operate on this. But no, you have to cut the cord, paralyze the patient to kill the tumor.
Who's the doctor in this one?
You.
I'm sorry.
These are my scans.
Oh,
The tumor is mine. I'd like you to take it out.
his expression
I'd like
just
you to
changed.
try.
So fun. The scan that he put up looks like an angiogram. The black colored lines, that's basically the contrast that we inject through the arteries that's flowing into the tumor, and it's basically showing the blood supply to the tumor. It also shows you the draining veins also. Tumors can grow within the spinal cord, or it can be just outside the spinal cord but within the covering of the spinal cord called the dura, or they can be outside that covering as well. But tumors usually press on the spinal cord, and that leads to symptoms like loss of sensation in your arms, in your body and in your lower limbs, that's your legs, or you can have weakness in the legs or in your arms, or you can have loss of the urinary or bowel control as well. I don't expect a patient with a spinal cord tumor to be dead because of the tumor. They can have paraplegia or quadriplegia, that is loss of motor control in either the lower limbs or in all 4 of the limbs. But people can get complications due to the presence of quadriplegia or paraplegia, and that can lead to more and more problems.
Oh, a spinal tumor. I read about a case at Mayo where the surgery took 17 hours. The head surgeon had 4 rotating assistants, one of whom just administered fluids.
So not all spinal tumors take 17 hours. Like we did a few spinal tumors this past month. It usually takes about 2 to 4 hours to remove the tumor. But I do understand that this is a Grey's Anatomy episode and it's a rare case, so I'm not going to nitpick.
Okay, you know what? Don't try and look superior your way on this. This is my tumor.
Sometimes residents do argue between themselves to get to assist in cases, especially the rare ones.
What happened to the patient at Mayo? He died. That's why it only took 17 hours.
Hey, I just heard Isaac has an inoperable tumor.
It's Isaac's tumor?
Okay, yeah, but who, okay? Who says it's inoperable?
So what is an inoperable tumor? You can take any tumor out of the body, but you have to think about what are the consequences from taking out a tumor. For example, if I take a tumor out from the speech area of the brain, but I don't care about the normal brain, I'm just taking out the tumor, you're literally going to leave the patient speechless after surgery. Or for example, if I take abdominal tumor out, which is already spread to other parts of the body, studies have shown that you're not going to make a big difference in the outcome or the lifespan of the patient. So why are you even attempting to do such a surgery? Even in this case, you can see that to take out the tumor, they say that you have to sever the spinal cord. So in a patient who is not having that much of a deficit, why do you want to cause more deficit and cause paraplegia and lead to more complications just because you want a tumor out? So that's why you call it an inoperable tumor.
Christina.
You want my fellow attending answer or my fellow surgeon answer?
Fellow surgeon.
This tumor is dangerous, complicated, and smart.
Wow, I've never seen someone talk
This
about
tumor is the reason
a tumor
I got
like
into
that.
medicine in the first place.
Microsurgery is about precision. The microscope changes your perspective radically. The hand-eye coordination required can be learned, but right now I need naturals. Here we go.
He's the one who's gonna do it. The music just gives it away.
Nicely done.
So neurosurgery does require stable hands and some finesse and amazing dexterity, and you should be able to work under the microscope. I like how they showed that Derek touched the nose, but the resident only was able to touch the side of the nose. That's basically they're showing that you can have the skill and you can be a natural at it, but at the end of the day, you have to practice. And that's why I have this guy.
Guess you might need to retire then.
Okay.
She goes in for the kill, and
Okay.
everyone like expected her to do well. Damn. So being humbled is a big part of residency, especially after you've gotten through one of the hardest exams in the world. But the earlier you are humbled, the earlier you are enabled to become a better version of yourself as well. So the working diagnosis as of now is a hemangioblastoma. So basically a hemangioblastoma is a benign tumor that is found within the spinal cord or sometimes within the cerebellum. It is sometimes associated with a syndrome called von Hippel-Lindau syndrome, which has associated tumors in other parts of the body as well. Usually the tumor itself is small, but because of its nature, it does form cysts around the tumor, which then cause compression of the spinal cord. Treatment is usually surgery, and we just remove that small tumor and not the cysts. The cysts resolve on their own. Radiotherapy does not seem to work, and chemotherapy, there are a few trials with some anti-VEGF treatments, but not very promising results.
There's always a way. When things look like there's no way, there's a way. To do the impossible, to survive the unsurvivable, there's always a way.
Wow, it would be so weird if my patients gave me a pep talk before surgery. It's like the opposite of what happens.
In the face of the impossible, we're inspired.
1 hour, 13 minutes on the surgical clock.
Door is
Is that the Zeiss Pentero?
First look at the tumor.
Wow. That's,
They have him in prone position.
wow.
Muscles are more intricate than the MRI showed. There's no way I can get this.
So they have him on his tummy, that is called a prone position. They have opened the back, they have pushed the muscles away, they have removed some bone, which is called a laminectomy. Also, they have opened the dura, that is the covering of the spinal cord. You can even see the stitches that they've placed on the dura to keep it away from where they want to operate. And you can see those red squiggly lines like a snake. Those are the blood vessels. Those are abnormal blood vessels which are supplying the tumor.
Hitting the feeding vessel, so maybe I should go more. Less vascularity around T17, so that does seem better now.
So basically the tumor is so diffuse that it's infiltrating into the spinal cord, and he's not able to find a plane between the tumor and the spinal cord itself. But that's a little weird for hemangioblastomas, because usually you do find a nice plane between the hemangioblastoma and the spinal cord. But I do get that this is a rare case on Grey's Anatomy, so I'm gonna let it go.
Are you wearing a diaper?
Shut up. At least bend your
You
legs.
can't bring yourself to use it, can you?
Shut up! Shut the hell up! Gray, I don't need a break. If you do, take one. Either of you open your mouths again, you're out of the OR.
Obviously, you can't be talking like that inside the OR when the surgeon is concentrating.
Dr. Shepard. Dr. Shepard. Am I to understand that you canceled your surgeries today to operate on a spinal cord tumor? Dr. Shepard. The rate of infection for this patient is increasing every second you keep him open.
See, that's a very good point. So whenever you have a long surgery, the longer the surgery, the more chances of infection, anesthesia related complications, and so on. On top of that, in private hospitals, the OR timing is billed by the hour. So you always have to execute your surgeries after planning properly preoperatively.
Not to mention the thousands of dollars you are wasting standing here doing nothing. So I am demanding that you close this man up.
There was no way of taking it out without risking your life. And to cut the cord at this point, I won't do it. You're still walking, Isaac.
You'll try again tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
This guy.
No, I can't try again. The tumor is inoperable.
So would you rather be walking around doing your work, maybe having a little bit of numbness, which can be treated with medications, but you know that there's a tumor there and it mostly won't grow as well? Or would you be paraplegic and you know that there's no tumor there? That also involves subjecting yourself to all the complications of being a paraplegic as well. I think this guy really needs to rethink a lot of things.
I want to talk about the tumor.
Dude, please, just for a minute. I'm a surgery junkie.
It was more vascular than the MRI shot.
But you were able to do
After a long day, and if I've had like interesting surgeries, I do the same thing with my wife. But usually I fall asleep after like 5 lines. Ah yeah, that is the Pentero.
Thank you, Dr. Gray.
I was right.
Making the first cut.
So what he's using is called a bipolar cautery. So we use that to like coagulate the vessels or sometimes the tumor, so that it helps us in removing the tumor.
What, you paralyze him?
So those squiggly lines on the monitor that you see, that's basically the recording of the electrical activity from the nerves going to the muscle. It's called intraoperative neuromonitoring, and we do use neuromonitoring in our spinal cord cases as well. It's basically to find out whether damage is happening to the spinal cord or the nerves. We usually check the motor evoked potentials or the somatosensory evoked potentials during surgery, but we don't get beeps like how it's portrayed. We have a technician who's trained in IONM, and he verbally indicates to us the situation.
I continue along this plane.
MEP tracing's losing amplitude. What just happened?
I've never seen a plastic surgeon doing the IONM, and I don't think the amplitudes change like that, but it's just dramatized.
Dr. Shepard?
Take off my mask.
What?
Take off my mask.
He's gonna blow.
Take off my mask.
So I never seen this happen to a neurosurgeon for a spinal cord tumor before, but I have seen people like take a breath, get up, take a walk in the OR and just like calm themselves down after they've just clipped an aneurysm, after it burst during the operation. And my God, you really need nerves of steel for this job.
Crap.
What is it?
It's my hand. It's cramping. Damn it.
Hey, don't move. Don't move.
BP's dropping.
Oh my God, like I've never seen BP dropping because the resident's hand is cramping and he's touching something. That just doesn't happen.
Anything to drink today, Dr. Andrew?
What?
Muscle cramps are a sign of dehydration. You went without fluid, so Dr. Gray couldn't get her hand.
Come on, it's been like 10 hours and Derek had something to drink and he also was dehydrated in the beginning. I'm pretty sure his resident also could have had something to drink. Sometimes the nurses do take breaks and sometimes the residents also. But of course, in this case, Derek is the only one who can remove this tumor. So no breaks for Derek.
Dr. Gray, A or B?
You're done? You got it all out?
Except for the blind cut. You just have to pick one and we're good to go.
He's deciding which one to cut.
Guessing which one. There's no logical way to make that call.
I can't work.
Ask most surgeons why they became surgeons. They usually tell you the same thing. The high. The rush. The thrill of the cut.
I like that lighting change.
For me, it was the quiet.
Come on, Shepard.
Come on, Shepard. Oh my God.
Please don't.
You can do it, Shepard. You can cut the right one. He cut it.
He made the
Oh my
cut.
God.
Christina, was it the right one? Christina, tell me, Christina.
Well, I have an idea. Why don't you take a temporary clip and place it on one of those arteries and see if the amplitudes drop on the IONM. Like, if it drops, then it's supplying the spinal cord. So don't cut the artery. It's that simple. Like, he's been using IONM throughout the whole episode and it drops for no reason. And now the one time the IONM is useful, he's not using it. Oh, wait a second. Is that a Gerard Perregaux? I think that's the proper pronunciation, but I just love how they show neurosurgeons all wearing like luxury watches, even in Doctor Strange. And I'm just here like wearing a G-Shock.
A task that requires complete focus.
Why is she using so many dollar bills? Like, why don't you just practice on $1 bill?
You're standing too close.
No, I'm
Isn't he a trauma surgeon?
Sure. I'll show you.
You? Look at your hands, your hams. Mine are tiny little geniuses.
Though everyone talks about having good hands for surgery, it's actually one's ability to plan and coordinate those fine movements. And also it's about having that metacognition and surveillancing your movements and making those small corrections and having a general situational awareness when things are happening.
Okay, so I've heard almost
Oh yeah,
everything
he slept
from
off.
Christina, but I
That's me. That's like,
so,
that's what I do.
Start from the beginning.
I just
and
come
tell me
home and then
everything.
I'm like dead. At the end of the episode, I'm still wondering whether surgery should have been offered. He did have a lot of psychiatric issues to address, and that may be one of the reasons why he wanted surgery. So taking that into account, plus he did not have much of symptoms. He just had some tingling sensation, which could have been treated with medications. Is there a real need to remove a tumor that is benign and could be in something called the plateau phase of growth, where it's not growing much, and maybe in the future it could grow and maybe you can do a surgery then? Until then, why do you have to risk making a patient paraplegic? You know, it's Grey's Anatomy, and they've used pretty good material to portray neurosurgery as the hardcore field that it is. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please do leave a like below. Do subscribe for more content. And if you want me to react to more neurosurgery or neuroscience related movies or scenes, please do comment that below. Till next time.